We have all lived through this exact scenario. It's 11 p.m., you're scrolling in the dark, and you make a strict, unyielding promise to yourself. Tomorrow morning, everything changes. You are going to wake up early, meditate, and finally stop getting distracted by the noise. Maybe you heard an inspiring speech or watched a highly motivating video. For about 20 minutes, you feel a surge in ambition. You feel invincible. But then morning arrives, your phone buzzes, daily stress kicks in, and that grand spiritual resolution simply evaporates. When we fail to keep these promises, we naturally blame a lack of willpower. We tell ourselves we just aren't disciplined enough. But treating this as a simple lack of discipline is a mistake. Everyday willpower is designed to help you finish a spreadsheet or do the dishes. It is the wrong fuel source for rewiring your base instincts. To develop lasting internal peace, you need a different kind of energy entirely. The spiritual teacher Shri Premanand Maharaj identifies exactly why we break our vows. He points to a lack of Adhyatmik Bal, the specific kind of spiritual strength required to sustain a commitment when life gets difficult. Think of it exactly like physical fitness. If you want a strong body, you don't just promise to be strong. You go to a gym, lift weights, and manage your diet. The mind works the same way. It requires a specific routine to build spiritual endurance. You cannot conjure an unbreakable mind overnight. True strength is assembled slowly, by repeating small, steady habits day after day, until that internal core becomes dense and resilient. If you want to stop failing at your resolutions, you have to abandon the strategy of brute force motivation. You have to enroll yourself in a daily mental gym. The first piece of equipment in this mental gym is your daily workout, the practice of Japa, where you keep a divine name or mantra cycling through your thoughts to anchor your focus. Now, people often assume this requires a complete withdrawal from society. They think adopting a serious spiritual practice means you have to abandon your family and become an extreme ascetic living on the riverbanks. But the truth is much more accessible. You do this workout exactly where you are. You can chant while commuting, or while you are cleaning, or even while you walk. These are the mental repetitions that slowly train your attention to stay focused on a single positive anchor. A workout is useless if your diet is terrible. Your spiritual diet is your daily conduct. This means paying attention to the physical food you put into your body, and equally important, the digital media you feed your brain. If you spend an hour meditating, but then spend 3 hours doom scrolling through negative news and toxic arguments online, you are eating mental junk food. That digital garbage immediately tears down the exact mental endurance you just spent an hour building.
To keep that diet and workout on track, you need the guidance of Satsang, the company of wise, spiritually focused people, and the steady study of Swadhyay, or spiritual texts. Historically, nobody tried to figure out the mind entirely alone in a dark room. Spiritual education was always communal. You lived and studied alongside others, learning in a focused community under expert guidance. Today, we are increasingly isolated, and the modern digital world is an endless pull on our daily attention. Every app, ad, and notification is engineered to drag your focus outward, leaving you exhausted. Reading spiritual texts and sitting with those who share your goals provides a vital course correction. It reaches into that chaos, grabs your attention by the shoulders, and points it back inward. This entire system rests on a foundational floor called Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is the practice of energy conservation.
It is the strict discipline of refusing to bleed your life force into trivial desires, unnecessary arguments, and constant sensory overload. Imagine your daily energy as water pouring into a bucket. Every time you engage in cheap digital dopamine or toxic gossip, you poke a hole in the bottom. You can pour as much chanting and reading into that bucket as you want, but you will always feel empty. You have to patch those holes so your energy can actually accumulate. Without conserving your energy, you physically lack the fuel required to hold your focus. But once you seal those leaks, the strength you gain from your practice stays with you. If you actually attempt this routine, you need to be prepared for the detox phase. When you first enforce these rules, your mind is going to violently rebel against you. You might sit down to repeat a mantra and suddenly feel sharp irritation, boredom, or a spike in anxiety. This happens because the practice is forcing buried mental impurities right to the surface. Maharaji Ji offers a critical warning for this exact moment. Whatever you do, do not stop the practice when this internal friction hits. That deep discomfort is not a sign that you are failing. It is the heat generated by the workout. It is concrete, physical proof that your new discipline is actively burning away your old mental weaknesses. Push through that detox phase, and you eventually reach a state of quiet confidence. You become a heavy anchor. When a crisis happens or the world gets loud, you remain entirely unaffected. You stop being the person who gets derailed by a single rude comment or a stressful email. Instead, you develop a resilient, steady core that dictates its own terms to the day. So tonight, do not make an impossible vow to change your entire life by tomorrow morning. True spiritual awakening is the result of daily building, one rep at a time, inside the mental gym. Start with a 10-minute unbreakable rule of Nam Japa and Satsang, and prove to yourself that you can build a mind that does not break.